everybody, and welcome to the Bat Friends Beyond, episode 10. I am one of your hosts, Chris, alongside the world champion, Joe. How's your phone game, Joe?
Fantastic.
All you got?
I'm just looking at my notes for this episode, and I was making myself laugh. That's all. I've gotten real minimalist in my notes.
So, Joe?
Yes?
How was the Batman?
I wouldn't know. I have better things to do with my life.
I fortunately do not.
I heard it was long.
Yes, it's 3 hours, and there should be no Catwoman. I don't care if you're mad at me about that. Catwoman character is useless.
Seems like you're a little angry about it.
Pattinson was pretty good, though. Pretty good.
Did his tears sparkle?
It did. He sparkled all over the place.
I'm Batman. This is something we talked about. So, was this bat symbol... Spoiler alert for the Batman. Fuck that movie. I don't actually hate it. I just don't care. So, was the bat symbol on his chest made from the gun that killed his parents?
No, but it was a batarang.
Oh, God. Fucking... Why did...
So instead of carrying around a bunch of little batarangs, he just pulled it off and batarang. There's one really weird scene in the movie.
Oh, only one?
Well, outside of all the Catwoman stuff. But... she's a villain.
Was she a villain in this?
Kind of. In as much as... No, because she was kind of a victim.
Okay.
She
maybe a little more of an anti-hero?
She ended up being Falcone's daughter.
That's stupid.
But there's one sequence where he jumps off a roof. Now, mind you, we're setting up that this is like Batman Year 2.
Okay.
So he's still kind of a new Batman. But whatever. I still don't like it. He jumps off a building. And instead of just, cape goes up and he glides.
Yeah.
And fuck if it makes sense, it just works.
Yeah.
He turns his suit into a squirrel suit.
Okay.
And then flies down.
I don't see any problems.
And then tries to go under a bridge, hits the bridge.
That's funny.
And then just topples.
That's hilarious.
Dies. Gets back up.
Dies.
He's dead in that moment. But I'm just watching this and I'm like, why did he have to hit the bridge and topple outside of great comedic moment?
So this is something I was going to talk to you about earlier. But now we're on the air, so let's just piss off our audience. Why not? They don't give me money.
All two?
They don't give me money. So, I saw somebody, again, because sometimes I get bored and hate myself, and so I watch Facebook Reels and whatnot. And somebody had a clip from Batman vs. Superman, and they're like, I don't think enough people have appreciated this really funny joke in Batman vs. Superman. And so what it is it's after Batman and Superman are trying to kill each other. A hilarious time.
This is Martha?
So he's... No, it's before Martha. So he'd hit him with the gas, and then Batman's punching him against the wall, and then the gas is wearing off. So Superman stops selling the punches and just, takes them. And then Batman's like, oh shit, I need more gas. That's the joke. He took... Oh, dear. Okay. He assumed and treated as though a moment of, sheer terror because here is this alien that Batman thinks is going to destroy the world.
It was sent by Ronald Reagan.
Yes. Is no longer weakened by this poison gas that he made from Hitler's design. And he's going to die. And that's hilarious because it's slapstick. At which point, I went, DC fans don't know what humor is. And that is why their movies are made the way they are. We really gotta watch Batman 89 and, do a track.
I'm down.
You say that, but then you don't show up for months.
I went to Florida. I went all Florida man on you.
Exactly.
You didn't want to be around me.
I don't want to be around you normally.
No, I thought this one had... Because it had, that, which I don't think was meant to be comedic, but it was funny to me because it was so out of place.
Right. That's usually what the jokes are.
Yeah.
Like I told you, the famous thing where it's like, what's the joke in Batman vs. Superman? Who's she? I thought she was with you. Ah, that's not a joke.
Yeah.
That's just not. You don't know what a joke is.
The only other joke in there, and I like it because Pattinson plays Bruce as autistic.
That's a choice.
Yeah. Like, he literally is autistic in that movie. Because even when you see him outside of the bat suit, just as Bruce, like, he's very closed. He doesn't talk to people. He's awkward around others. Like, he has all the signs of, like, somebody with autism.
On the spectrum.
Yes. And when he gets in the car and he holds up the decapitated thumb and just says, "Thumb drive," it hit me in all the right places. Because it's so dark, but it's such a moment where somebody who just has no social cues whatsoever would think that was funny.
You mean like the writer of a DC Comics movie?
Yes.
The more you describe this movie, the more I'm like, I never want to watch this thing.
Colin Farrell's fantastic.
Sure. Listen, there are great performances in tons of movies I have no interest in seeing.
Listen, you would hate this movie, don't get me wrong.
Okay.
All the performances...
Just as long as we're clear on that.
All the performances you would agree are fantastic. I think you would agree with fantastic.
Probably.
Maybe Falcone you wouldn't like, because I didn't really care.
Because that was DeToro, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like him in general, but okay. I don't know if I would like... Yeah, but yeah.
I like him in general, too. I think he's miscast.
Sure. Yeah.
And then just cut Catwoman out because her character is useless in the movie.
I told you, and I knew it going in. I don't know why anybody... I mean, not as many people argued with me on this one, but it's like, I don't know why people try to argue with me. I'm sick of misery porn, and that's what these Batman movies are. I'm sick of it.
Have you seen the Manhattan meme?
No.
It's 1989.
Oh, yes. I'm watching. Yes. It's 1989. I'm watching a darker, grittier Batman. It's 2000, whatever. I'm watching a darker, grittier Batman. Like, and that's the truth. Like that's a joke. That's a good joke because it's biting, and it's actually making commentary.
All I know is the only DC movie I was looking forward to, not because of the movie itself, but because of what better happened at the end of the movie, was pushed to next year. And that is The Flash. I just want to buy a ticket, show up for the last 10 minutes, and see Terry show up with Bruce so that I know that there's a Batman Beyond thing in the future. Otherwise, that movie's a failure and doesn't need to exist.
I mean, I still am not convinced that movie's actually going to come out. It seems to keep getting pushed. I don't know.
You didn't watch Peacemaker, did you?
Yeah, I did. It was great.
Okay, so...
I watched the good thing they did.
I wasn't sure if you watched that or not.
Barry fucks fishes. No, Barry doesn't fuck a fish. Aquaman does. Fuck you, Barry.
Aquaman showed up at the end. That was phenomenal.
I was amazed they got them to those two. I mean, it didn't surprise me super that they got those two to show up, but that they got anybody to show up was amazing.
I don't know Ezra enough, so I can't judge on Ezra. Yeah. It does not shock me that Momoa showed up one bit.
It seemed to fit in with Ezra to be, especially like it's just like, but that's not a rumor.
What I was surprised by first that they even put in the other two.
Well, and then are you going to go to the next point that there were two more they cut out?
Yes. Both of which were on, not the actual actors were on set, but the doubles were on set. Yeah. That's why if you watch, Superman's so much further away from everybody, because Batman was supposed to be there.
Yeah. Yeah, that was odd. Yeah. Because that's what I remember when I watched it, I commented to the guys, I'm like, why would you only have those four show up?
So, my theory, Batman makes a little bit of sense, because you're not going to do Batfleck again. Sure. So maybe you're going to retcon something for a new Batman. Cyborg, on the other hand, loose lips sink battleships. Not saying I agree with it, I'm just saying that's what happened.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying even if it was the body double, they wouldn't have him.
But they don't want anything to do with... okay. Hey, let me put this straight. There was never going to be a Cyborg movie. But
Sure, whatever.
Now there will really never be a Cyborg movie.
Yeah, because, you know.
Because he went after Jeff Johns, the greatest comic writer of all time.
Yeah. So, fuck. I really wanted to talk to you about. So I read, on the topic of greatest comic writer of all time, meaning somebody who just cribs other people's work, I finally read Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Oh, I mean to ask you about this. Okay.
I enjoyed it. I mean, Perez's art was amazing, of course.
Did you feel it? I mean, it's an older comic, but did you get the dated feeling from the story?
Yes, but also because literally every DC comic event ever is stealing from this one event. They're literally copying pages from this one event.
I don't know what you're talking about. They're doing Dark Crisis next. That's completely different.
Like, when I said, like, literally, you know, the big shot of all these heroes brought together for a mysterious... Like, I'm like, I've never read this before, and I recognize all of these panels.
Wow.
And the other thing that annoyed me is, because I know, you know, DC comic fans who are like, Marvel events always suck. It's just a whole bunch of nothing happening, a big exposition, and then they finish the story. And then I went, oh, you mean like Crisis? Where literally nothing happens, there's a big exposition explaining the entire plot, and then they fight the Anti-Monitor? And I like Wolfman. I mean, I really think he was handed, whether because he really wanted to do it or not, an impossible task. And, like, the heart was in the right place. And that's... We've talked about, I think, on this show, that, like, Watchmen and The Dark Knight ruined comics, not because of what the creators did, but because everyone else took the wrong message from those books. Crisis needs to get added to that list. Crisis was, we have all these disparate stories, let's clean everything up, and let's tell new stories. So we're not going to get rid of Superman, we're not going to get rid of Batman, we're not going to get rid of Wonder Woman. We're going to keep having those. But let's get rid of some of those other characters and have new versions of those characters. That's a great thing for a comic publisher to do.
In the 70s.
Right, and that's a great thing to do. Mm-hmm. And they tried it. And then DC comic fans went, no, we want our old toys back. And then we've just been locked in this cycle of regurgitating the same bullshit for the last 30 years. Because we can't actually have anything new.
So, Crisis on its own is a great book. It's one of the all-time books. And a lot of the feelings I have about it are similar to you.
Yeah.
Because it was the first to do it.
Right.
So...
Like, it was... I understand why it was super special in that moment and that time.
So that in Secret Wars... Although Secret Wars is cribbing a little bit from Crisis...
Right.
They were the first ones to do it. So they get away with it a little bit. Now, I'm a sucker for a fucking Marvel event, as you know. So I'm not apologizing at all for that. But... Yeah, people put too much into what an event is. It should be groundbreaking, this amazing thing. Or it should just be like a bunch of heroes get together to punch somebody.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be the next great thing.
Or it can be something, but like I said, like just the fact that I'm seeing all these panels, I'm like, I recognize every one of these goddamn panels. Like, this has just been cribbed for years.
Well, remember Convergence?
I didn't even look at that shit, but I remember.
But you remember the ads for it and everything.
Yeah.
It was literally just the panel, the 2-page spread from, I forget what issue of Crisis.
Yeah.
Where all the Earths...
Yeah.
Yeah, that was every issue of fucking Convergence.
Right.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it is. It's definitely, like, I'm glad I read it. And like I said, Perez and Wolfman and everybody involved cared. I just love calling him Wolfman. Everyone cared. Everyone put in really good work. But it's just like... It's 40 years later and we haven't moved past it. Like, imagine if rock music was still what it was 40 years ago. It'd be fucking disco. No, it wouldn't, because that's the 70s. It'd be fucking hair metal.
I'm fine with that.
No, exactly. You're the problem. You're why we can't have nice things.
You could have gone to any other decade, Joe.
I know.
And I would have had a problem with it. Alright, Joe. Let's watch episode 10.
Okay.
Did I screw up the intro?
I don't know. I don't listen to anything you say.
Whatever. This is episode 125 of Bat Friends Beyond. Just get over it. We're going to watch episode 10 of
You did screw up the intro.
Yeah, Batman Beyond. Titled Spellbound. Written by Robert Goodman. Directed by Butch Lucas.
Butch. That's got a comment. It's got a wrestling tie-in. All right, we went back into the intro a little bit. I'm happy now. So a guy got called up. So WWE has a farm league that they broadcast because they're crazy people called NXT. And there's a wrestler on it that a lot of fans really like whose name is Pete Dunne, or was Pete Dunne. I don't know if his real name is Pete Dunne. And they called him up to SmackDown last week and renamed him Butch and like made him look like an Irish pub brawler where like he has the fucking driving hat, wears suspenders with a wife beater and khakis, and just looks like he wants to beat people up. And so that on its own was hilarious.
Does he have Hornswoggle with him?
No, but he has Sheamus with him. And Sheamus' buddy Ridge Holland, who are also pub brawlers. And Sheamus is literally from Ireland. And is pale as a fucking ghost with bright red beard and bright red hair. And Butch performed an over-the-head belly-to-belly throw that he really shouldn't have been doing on Big E on the outside of the ring and literally broke Big E's neck in the middle of an event. Wow. Yeah. But yeah, so what became a joke of Butch ended in tragedy of a very beloved wrestler getting his fucking neck broken. No surgery, thankfully, but because of so spinal cord was fine, the fucking the bones were broken, and there's been some thought that because of the ones that I forget what numbers, but because the vertebrae that were broken, he may never wrestle again because those vertebrae don't tend to heal properly, so it's easier to re-aggravate the injury. So
is this an instance of a guy being called up too early, or just fucking things happen?
This is an instance of a guy probably, or maybe it was Rich Holland. Maybe it wasn't Butch. No, that's right. It wasn't Butch. It was Rich Holland did it. So yes, it was a guy getting called up too early, doing something he shouldn't have been doing. Like when Gil told, my buddy Gil that loves wrestling, when he told me what happened, I've seen Big E. I know Big E's size. And when I was in high school, I almost got into, I forget what they called it, but they called it something, it was like, because I was a wrestler, and then there was like the Greco-Roman, which is where you do the throws. So like, I've been thrown, and I've been taught how to properly throw people, like do a belly-to-belly throw. And when he told me he did that, I went, whoever agented that match, because usually that's what they have, is they have like, they call him a producer now, whatever, but it's like they have the wrestlers, and they have a more experienced wrestler, etc., who goes through and is like, okay, so what are you going to do in the match? Like, not step by step, but just big spots. Yeah. And this is a big spot. You're on the outside doing a belly throw. I go, whoever agent in that match should be fired. There's no, like, Big E is my size, but if I was a power lifter, there's no reason somebody should be throwing me on the outside of the ring that way. Like a side, because at first I told him I thought he was doing a side belly to belly. And he's like, no, he did a throw. I go, well, who the fuck does he think he is? Scott Steiner? Like, because Scott Steiner could do that because he was strong enough. But yeah, it's been a little bit of a... And I don't, like, you can't blame Ridge Holland because they were just trying, like, E went along with it. He said, yeah, let's do it. And he should have fucking known better. But he's not that old either. So it's tough to see a guy who is beloved. Like, everybody was just like, fucking hope you get better, E. Hope you're okay, E. Fans, wrestlers, everything. It's really sucks to see someone that beloved have their career just ended.
It's unfortunate for a young guy to be that guy.
Right.
Because he'll be known as that guy forever.
Yeah.
So what do you think of Spellbound's design?
Fucking hate it. He rides a ball. It's
a mini helicopter.
Oh, so he has his black friend here, and my notes for this episode was, damn, that shit is whack. Because, like, that's all he brings to this episode. He's like, oh, yeah, she bugged out and stole some shit. Damn, that shit is whack.
This is where we learn that Barbara Gordon was Batgirl.
It's true. It's not where we learn it. We've been watching this show the whole time. We knew that.
Nobody knew that before this episode.
For right now. No, it did. That was rough. And then we lost Scott Hall this week too, so that was sad. Dating this episode.
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
Beep bop boop bop. He literally just beep bop boop bop. Stupid. Enhance.
Bruce, this is the future. Why do you have so many books?
I don't trust computers. Facebook can turn them off at any moment. Oh, Bruce. Just don't give a shit about... He's like, fuck them kids. Like, he's literally like... She's not... Fuck them kids.
You know the... Speaking of dating this episode.
Yeah.
You know that Tom Brady announced he's coming back. Like
Tom Brady after 2 days spending at home. Fuck them kids.
Because his initial thing was, I'm going to spend time with my kids at home.
Fuck them kids. The Princess... Now, what I think is funny is it says the Princess Audrey collection. The first time I went by, it said Audrey Hepburn collection. They changed it. Fucking Korean animators. The dude with the eyeball.
You can now purchase a t-shirt at enjoyyourfrozendick.com.
I was going to plug that at the end.
I don't know what's up with that old man. I work for him forever, and then he knocks me out.
It was weird. It's like he had the AIDS or something. That's not a symptom of the autoimmune deficiency syndrome.
This made me laugh.
It is funny.
Even though it's a little, like, cruel to people with flashbacks. But just the fact that he's carrying around that mannequin.
Yeah, it's the visual of him, like, just hugging the dress, being like, oh no.
So is there, like, a future Vietnam?
Clearly.
Oh, that's probably... Does Ukraine have jungles?
No. Fun fact, the Ukraine does not have jungles. So here's the thing that I got. I can't remember what episode made me think of it. I think it was... Sorry, my notes are making me laugh. I think it was the one where Babs really talks to Terry about her time as Batman.
Yeah, don't be Batman.
Yeah. And I'm like, wait, when was this supposed to take place? Because we established that Batman was in the 40s. And this is in the 2030s. So Bruce is like 100 years old.
He's rich. He has the best health care.
Apparently. Babs is easily like 70.
Well, I should save it for that episode. But yeah. I love... There's a moment where it's like admitted that if Bruce wasn't a dick, she would have married him.
Yeah. Well, the other thing, again, and we'll talk about it again in that episode, but it's going to be weeks in between these for you guys, so we'll do it a little bit here. I also love that, remember I talked about when we watched that one episode where Dick explained why he stopped being Robin. And I'm like, yeah, Bruce, Batman's a dick. And Barbara confirms that Dick was right about everything.
Yeah.
Dick was 100% right. And you just can't see it when you're that close to him because you want to believe the best in him and you let him get away with murder because he's a manipulative asshole. I have no idea. Look at my tie. It looks like an exclamation point upside down.
So not that I read either of these books because I don't care.
I do like it's a little annoying, but I do like the design of the hologram newscaster.
Yeah, it's cool. Did you see the new storyline for Superman, Son of Kal-El?
No.
So it's Dick training John. So it all goes full circle.
It's interesting.
Yeah. I thought it was a cool little homage to...
Who's DG? Because, I forget, because you watched this.
Yeah.
Do we see Dick in this?
No.
Okay. But he shows up in the comics?
Yes.
Okay. Because we know what happens to, not Jason.
Oh,
Tim.
Tim, yeah. Which, by the way, they're McFarlane's doing Batman Beyond toys.
Yeah. So I told you I had a little bit of a rough day yesterday.
Every time I think I'm out, they
pull
me right back in.
I had a little bit of a rough day yesterday. So they were doing the big haul-a-thon thing at Target or whatever. We were a bunch of turtle toys from NECA. And I was like, all right, let me go look. And the only thing, they had a really cool Future toy that fucking had sold out instantly. And I was like, I would have got that because it was really cool looking.
Was it the Mirage Future toy?
Yes.
Yes.
And it's all like cell shaded.
Yeah, it's real nice.
It is. But what they had not sold out of the pizza monsters. And I'm like, and I sent to my buddy Gil, I go, I'm going to treat myself because of the day I've had. And he sent me back the gift. Treat yourself.
I wore those yesterday. I had treat yourself socks on yesterday.
Oh, I really don't like his design. I get it. But, like, he's not, like, they call him Spellbinder, but he's not magic. He, like, I mean, it's not, I don't know what she should have done instead, but it just, I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of it. And the giant eyeballs, like, whatever. Like, I would like it more if his face was the thing that hypnotized people.
I like the gimmick, but yeah, nobody broke a sweat on that.
No. And like I said, like, the drone he rides is weird, too. Like, covered in scorpions. I love every time I get to make an X-Men reference on this show. It makes me happy.
Da-na-na-na-na.
Exactly. Na-na-na. Goblin glider.
Batman, you do not know how
that is some weird
dresses
visuals. That is some weird visuals.
I bought some
Her
porn
dress
like
is
that
cheese. Why is her dress cheese? Also, why are you holding her by the dress anyway? Like, that's gonna rip, whether she rips it or not. That's weird. That was phallic.
I didn't notice that. So he's a bee?
That's what I'm saying.
Or a wasp?
Like, this whole thing's it's not... Like, it feels like it's like 3 different episodes slapped into one. I mean, I get the whole brainwashing to steal the jewels. Though that makes me laugh too. It's like, oh no, a Spellbinder, he's got the jewels. But like, I don't know. It just... When I first watched it, and I think now, I just was not in the right headspace to be like, this is a good episode. I was just like, whatever, this is dumb. Can I do something else, please? Why didn't it crush the jewels? Clearly ran right over them.
I'm so confused by that glider now.
Right?
I
I don't even say that. Okay, so the eye and the palm. Okay, I'll give you that. That's a little weird, but at least that's something rather than this giant glowing orb.
He's gonna do a swan dive.
Hey, Bruce, what? I thought you had control over the suit. Why don't you just turn the rockets on?
Seriously.
Like, what the hell is that? Oh. I mean, that's cool. Like, having the design, though, of, like, this, and just, like, Terminator, that was kind of cool. Look, it's an eyeball. See, he went, peekaboo!
See, that's just one.
I like that you're just looking up toys now. Yeah, I know, I think I saw that.
Yeah.
So, I brought up Fugitoid to Gil, and he's like, I can't wait for Super 7, because that's who did Muckman.
Okay.
He's like, I can't wait for Super 7 to get to Fugitoid, because I loved that. Because they're doing that. These are all the original line that they're redoing in this larger scale and shit. Mm-hmm. So I can't wait for him to get to Fugitoid, because I loved that toy. I'm like, when that happens, you better tell me, because I also loved Fugitoid. And he goes, listen, I promise you, there will never be a Super 7 announcement that I do not screech and joy to you about. I just went, thank you. I appreciate that. Because we do, even if I don't like, even if I'm like, nah, I can't justify that, I'm not going to buy it. We're still like, this is awesome. It's so cool they're making this. Like, imagine that, just being happy about something.
I've been so good about not buying anything. And then one day I just opened my phone and there they are.
Oh, yeah.
Batman Beyond. I'm like, God damn it. Because the only McFarlane toy I have... Yeah.
The weird smile is hilarious to me, too.
Yeah, the only McFarlane toy I have is Batman the Animated Series, when they did that one. But they only did Batman.
I mean, I still have my old Spawns.
I delivered a shitload of those. Remember they did the Spawn Kickstarter?
Yeah. We talked about that, because when I said I found mine, you were like, oh, yeah. I mean, good for him. That's what people forget. Like, yeah, he had work in the comics, but like, that was the huge thing he did that really changed things. Was that freaking toy company? Like, he knew what he was going to do with that, and he was always pushing the limits with it.
There's talks because he used to do all the sports.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly what the deal is, but I think basically he's like, this is my worth, and either pay it or don't.
Yeah.
And so they've gone around to a few different companies over the years, and guess what they're going back to soon? At least I know the NFL is.
Well, and here's the thing, because this is the thing that Paul from ICS always says. That fucking glider annoys me. It just does. If there was some explanation to it, maybe. But it just looks just awkward. And it looks like it should have some story that it just doesn't.
I just didn't catch... the bee connection didn't...
Yeah.
Not even bee, it's like a wasp, but whatever.
Yeah.
Didn't hit me the first time, and now it's really hitting me hard.
But what he always talks about is... Because remember... I mean, I don't know if you remember. I remember because I was paying attention and I was a McFarlane guy at the time. When he bought all the baseballs, when there was the hit run competition, or most hits, not even hit home runs.
Okay.
And it was Sosa and them were competing, and he was buying the balls. And he was paying ridiculous money for them. And people said, you're an idiot, because they're never going to hold their worth, and they didn't. But he did that to get contacts in MLB, and that's how he was able to get those initial contracts to make the MLB figures. So he was spending that money going, I'm going to get it on the back end. Like, that's what I always say. Like, McFarlane's not a genius. He's not smart and right in everything he does. But he definitely looks things from a different angle and sees opportunities other people don't. And I give him full credit for that. Because that is you can't teach that. He sees where it's like, and I mean, it's the basic thing that I always do from him. You don't go where everybody else is. You see the lane that's empty, and that's where you go. And whether you succeed or not, whole lot less competition.
Mm-hmm. I
mean, no one was making MLB action figures at that time. And he made a product that nobody else could, because that's not where toy manufacturing was at the time. I mean, that's the one thing I kind of wish I still had, is like, I had an action figure that was it was a statue. Like, it technically had points of articulation. Mm-hmm. It was a statue. And it was cool as hell.
Well, dude, so I got... It's all in boxes now, but, I got the full-size Batmobile.
Right.
It goes with the original relaunch figures, which were, like, the same as the old figures from when we were kids.
Okay.
So they're 1-to-1 to that. So I have that Batman, too, so I can put him in the seat. But the McFarlane one is, like you said, it's almost like a statue. So I can have it sit there with the grappling gun pointed up. It's just... It's big enough in scale to the car that it just looks really cool.
Well, I may pull in between episodes. I may pull up the picture, but it was a Spawn, and it was Spawn holding his cape, which was a hard cast, so the cape wasn't moving. It's like this wasn't moving, and like another arm that could maybe do this, and then he was in like the Captain Morgan pose on a pedestal of skulls that came with it.
That's not the ones at the shop, is it?
No, I don't think so. It might be. I don't think so though. And then he had real metal chain links. Like, not heavy duty, but, they were metal. Yeah. And, like, it was funny, because I'm like, this is so cool looking. And I remember, like, my parents, I'd be like, is that a toy? I'm like, I mean, maybe, but it's not. Because, like, well, how am I going to play with this thing? It just looks cool as hell.
Well, that's why I'm always surprised when kids like Funko Pops.
Yeah, I get it from it. It looks very kid.
Yeah.
Like, it's design sense, it appeals to them, but like, yeah, you can't play with them. I loved Monster in My Pocket. Those didn't have points of articulation. I played with those, so I guess you can play with a Funko Pop.
Well, you could, yeah, you can play with anything, but
yeah,
it's just weird because nothing about them screams toy,
except their design. Those look like toys to me. Like, not literally play. They don't look like G.I. Joes, but like, they don't look like a statue. Like, as a kid, I would not look at that and be like, oh, that's a statue. Or I'd be like, no, that's something I grab and play with.
Yeah. Maybe I'm looking at it from an adult lens, but...
Because you're looking at it, same, like I said, like, I don't really have any toys, but I mean, Goliath is technically an action figure, so technically he is a toy. But like, you're not gonna play with him either. You could, but you ain't gonna. Look at those giant fucking wings.
Yes. When I was a kid, I played the fuck out of that toy.
But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Where it's like Goliath. I do like that his tail balances him. That makes me so happy. Like, I cannot describe to you, as somebody who had the original Gargoyle toys, how happy I am that I can take that tail and I can pose it so that he stands up on his weird fucking feet and just go, rah.
You know what I was thinking about recently?
What is that?
And I looked up a commercial for it.
Yep.
Remember Street Sharks?
Listen, do not speak to me about Street Sharks. I have wanted to relaunch the comic of Street Sharks. I own the entire series on DVD, and there's a part of me that wants to get all my old Street Sharks. Because as a boy who was large, seeing these giant toys in a shark cage on an end cap said, this is for you, Joe. This was made specifically for you. Because as a 10-year-old, I could grab them with one hand and manipulate them in ways that other kids are like, these are too big. It's like the same fucking Xbox. Oh, this controller's too big. No. It's the perfect size. And he wore, the leader wore cowboy boots.
Everybody stay tuned to the...
I fucking love Street Sharks.
Next season of Bat Friends, where for some reason we watch Street Sharks.
I'm not going to lie to you. If we finished Batman Beyond and instantly went into Street Sharks, I would be so happy. I'd be like, this is the greatest moment of my life. Because everybody knows Turtles is great. Not everybody remembers the sublime genius that was Street Sharks. It's so goofy. I love it. It was dumb as hell. It was dumb as hell. And they can't... See, that was the first toy that had chrome ones, too. So it was the same toy... Because, like, the first toy was, like, a soft plastic, which felt like kind of like shark skin. So it was like, that's really cool.
The mouth...
The mouth... Because the fin, you would move it with the fin.
Yeah.
So the bottom jaw was articulated. So it would be like... Ah, and those were hard plastic teeth. You could hurt somebody with those. Like, I did it a couple times where my grandfather would be funny. Like, put his finger in the mouth, and I'd go, Kroon. He's like, it hurts. And so the lower torso was a hard plastic mold. Yeah. Because they didn't have articulation in the knees. So they could turn, and the arms would go up and down. I don't think they had articulation at the elbows. But so the upper torso was a soft plastic. So they could be like... But then they put out the metal ones. So it was the exact same figure, but like they were gold or silver. Like they were Funko Pops 10 years before Funko existed as a company.
I don't remember the gold or silver.
Oh, I will find you, because I think I had one. Because I had the leader whose name I can't think of right now. I never had Slamoo. That was the killer whale. There was a killer whale, and then there was I don't know, he was a humpback, but he was orange. It was weird. I don't remember, but he was one of the original brothers. Slamoo came in later. I had one of the bad guys who was a lobster with a drill nose. That was weird, but you know, or no, he wasn't. He was a swordfish. He was a swordfish with a drill nose. The other bad guy was a lobster. I never had Dr. Piranhas because he was crossbred with a piranha, so that's why his name was like Piranhas. But he was like Piranha. It's stupid. And I think he was in this giant exosuit, and you could spin his head because one was like a human head, and the other one had piranha teeth. It was stupid. Those toys were awesome. Like, that's what... I think we talked about it, where I'm like... Or it might have been me and Chuck, where I'm like, do kids have toys now? Like, cool toys. We had cool toys. That were just... I mean, I had the Toxic Crusaders. I had Street Sharks. I had Transformers. I had the Turtles.
So, this isn't just old man talk. Their action figures are... So, the action figures that kids can actually get are shittier. I think action figures in general are a little bit better.
But the better ones are also aimed at adult collectors, and that's the problem.
Exactly.
Like, Street Sharks did not... Like, I'm sure there were adults that bought Street Sharks. Like, this thing's crazy. Like, let me just have one. Mm-hmm. But, like, it was aimed at kids.
Yeah.
Turtles were aimed at kids.
So if you or I were to walk down Walmart...
which I have, and I'm very disappointed with their selection.
It's not good.
But Lego's gone through the roof. I have noticed that.
Yeah. I just bought the Sonic the Hedgehog Lego set. Very happy.
But, like, in general, I don't remember there being as many Lego sets as there are now. in my memory. Like when I was a kid. When Star Wars came back around is when I really remember Lego blowing up again because they had the Star Wars license.
They were more themed. So it was like Lego medieval.
Right.
And you had a castle and a catapult, blah, blah, blah.
But I don't literally remember them being on the shelves as much, is what I mean. Like now, like most of the stores have like a whole aisle of Lego.
Because like I had a set like the set I had today. If it was Lego Space,
right.
But today it would be Star Wars. It'd probably be the Millennium Falcon, and it'd probably be $400.
Sure.
And I don't know exactly how much that set cost, but I know damn well in the late 90s, early 2000s, my dad was not spending $400 on fucking Legos.
Right. Yes. I mean, and that's where it starts to get aimed at an adult. Yeah. By hook or by crook, it starts to get aimed at an adult collector.
So, yeah, but what kids do, and these are the other things kids don't have. They don't have Super Soakers anymore. When's the last time you saw like a legit Super Soaker?
I mean, I never had one, but yeah, I know your point, your larger point.
They still have Nerf.
Yeah, Nerf's gotten kind of blown up a little bit.
And then other than that, it's all electronic stuff. So it's like remote control cars. It's little cheapo drones, stuff like that, which are cool, but like because I had. Dude, my parents recently found like a box of all my old stuff, and like even I looked at a kid's Transformer today, compared to the Cheetor I had.
I know,
and you still have your
Optimal Optimus, baby.
Yeah,
I'm so happy I never let that thing go because there were. I've told the story on here, I know, and I've told you the story in general. But like, there was definitely a time where like my parents were kind of like, well, you should get rid of that. And I'm like, there's something in me that I'm like, no, like this is really cool. I don't ever want to get rid of this. I didn't want to. I mean, here's the truth. I never wanted to get rid of any of my toys, and I think I was right. But I was also 10, so what the fuck was I gonna do?
So the 1-for-1 toys that I see now, ours were better.
Okay.
And I think like we had more cool toys because now they want to sell kids toys with zero articulation. It's just a figure that stands like this with its arms down, and it's like, go play, kids, because they know these kids have fucking Xboxes.
Right. Yeah. So why compete with? You're never going to be able. Like when it was our toys, they were still trying to make them so you could move them and stuff because it's like, yeah, you want to be able to do stuff with the toys. And I was like, no, they just got a computer they can go play.
They're going to go play Fortnite. Yeah.
Yeah.
They can go get the fucking Optimus Prime skin in Fortnite. And that's the new toy. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, and maybe that's just different. Maybe it's not better or worse, but it's just there's a part of me that just like my heart, like because I've said before, other places I'll say here, I'm not a toy guy, and maybe that's just because I had to throw all mine out and it hurt too much. And like that's a moment of honesty that just came through. But there's a part of me that's just like, man, it was so cool. Like, it was, I mean, when I used to be able to go and and my grandmother would buy me a Transformer or a Turtle, like, they were like $5. And so it was an easy thing to be like, here's this little $5 thing that I was just going to play with for hours because I thought it was so cool. And like, then, they'd get me Silly Putty, and I'd take the Silly Putty because I had the Spider-Man animated figures too. And I would take the Silly Putty and like put it over Spider-Man's chest so it covered his eyes. So it was like he was wearing armor. Like I would just do crazy shit with my toys.
So one of the few memories I have from when I was really little was potty training. And if I went like a certain amount of time, I don't remember exactly, using the potty, I got little DuckTales figures.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
We just rambled for like 20 minutes about toys.
Joe, now that we decided what we're doing after Batman Beyond, because it's happening now.
That'd be so weird. What would really be weird is all of a sudden our numbers went through the roof. And it was like, apparently Street Sharks was the secret to our success.
Dude, I'm not even kidding you. After seeing so you're listening to an audio version. I saw the passion in his eyes. That's why I don't talk for most of that thing, because I'm just staring into his eyes, seeing the passion.
I really do love Street Sharks.
And now I really want to do this because I think Joe would have much more fun with it. But where can people find you on the internet, Joe?
JoePank.com, JoePanc.com. There's all kinds of stuff there. You can also go to EnjoyYourFrozenDick.com. There are 2 new designs up there that are Bat Friends centric. One is fucking Korean animators, but it's censored so you can wear it to your fine dinner parties. If you get a t-shirt with the Korean animator design and you wear it to a fine dinner party, please take a picture and send it to me. It will make my life. There's also, at the popular request of Chris, real capybara or fish. I'm really happy with how that one turned out, honestly. And as always, you can follow me on Twitter, Cthulhu Holmes, Joe Pank. You won't, so who cares? You can follow me on Instagram at JoePank36. I'm getting followers there, but none of them are you. And if you want to support my other show, Joe Meets World, where, hey, I'll do a Street Sharks podcast over there. I don't care. You can go to patreon.com/Joe Pank. Give me as little as $2 a month. You'll get the entire back catalog of Joe Meets World, uncut and uncensored, and maybe Street Sharks.
I want to do this. Don't get me wrong. But if you want to keep doing a podcast after Boy Meets World...
I thought, honestly, Street Sharks was one of the ideas I had.
I'm just thinking just do it like 90s... Like,
cartoon, yeah.
Yeah, like Saturday Night cartoons.
I know. Well, that's where I could keep it as Joe Meets World, because it's all the cartoons I watched as a kid. There you go. It's still on brand, but I have other ideas. Yeah.
If you don't decide to do that, we might do that here. You can find me at Fortress Chris on Twitter and FortressComicNews.com, where everything I do is right there. Also, comicbookgetty.com, where you can see stuff I write and other fun stuff. Thank you all so much for listening this week. I'll see you all here next week.
Totally Jawsome!